You wake up already tired. Someone's tone in a text message feels cold, and suddenly your chest tightens. A coworker makes a small comment. Nothing serious, but it replays in your head all day. The sound of chewing at dinner becomes unbearable. You snap at someone you love over something tiny, and later, you don't even know why. You tell yourself you're overreacting, that you're too sensitive, that you need to just calm down. But here's the truth. You're not angry. You're not broken. You're emotionally overloaded. And when your inner world is already at capacity, everything, even the smallest thing, feels like too much. This is about why everything bothers you, and how to finally become emotionally unshakable. Why everything bothers you. Let's start here. Your irritation isn't about the things that trigger it. It's about what's already inside you. Imagine your emotional capacity as a glass of water. Every unprocessed feeling, every disappointment, every rejection, every moment you swallowed your hurt to keep the peace, adds a drop. Over time, the glass fills, and when it's already full, even one more drop makes it overflow. This is called emotional residue. It's the leftover pain from things you never fully felt, never expressed, never released. It lingers in your body, your nervous system, your reactions. And when something small happens, a tone, a look, a forgotten text, it's not really about that moment. It's about every other moment that felt like that. Psychologically, this is how triggers work. A trigger isn't just an annoyance. It's a doorway to an old wound. When someone dismisses you, it taps into every time you were made to feel invisible. When someone's late, it connects to every time you felt unimportant. Your brain doesn't distinguish between past and present pain. It just knows this feeling again. And so you react, not to what's happening now, but to everything that happened before. This is why small things feel so big, because they're not small. They're echoes. The psychology of triggers. Let's go deeper. Your nervous system is designed to protect you. When it senses danger, real or perceived, it activates. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. But here's the problem. If you grew up in an environment where you had to stay alert, where emotions were unpredictable, where love felt conditional, your nervous system learned to stay on high alert. This is called hypervigilance. Your body is constantly scanning for threats. A shift in someone's energy, a change in tone, a moment of silence that feels too long. To others, these things might be neutral. To you, they feel dangerous. Let's say someone says, "We need to talk." For some people, that's just a sentence. For you, it might trigger panic. Why? Because your brain remembers every time those words preceded abandonment, criticism, or conflict. Your body tenses before your mind even processes what's happening. Or imagine this. You send a thoughtful message to a friend. They respond with K. Just one letter. And suddenly, you're spiraling. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad? Do they not care? It's not about the K. It's about rejection sensitivity. The deep fear that you're too much, not enough, or about to be left behind. This often traces back to childhood. If your emotions were dismissed, if you were told you were too sensitive, if you had to guess how people felt because they never told you, you learned that the world is unsafe, that you have to read between every line, that you can't trust what people say, only what they don't say. So now, as an adult, you are still reading between the lines, still bracing for impact, still waiting for the other shoe to drop. Why you take things personally. Here's where it gets painful. When your self-worth is fragile, everything feels like evidence. If deep down you believe you're not good enough, every neutral comment becomes confirmation. Someone cancels plans, they don't actually like me. Someone doesn't laugh at your joke, I'm embarrassing. Someone takes a while to respond. I'm forgettable. This is the inner critic at work, that voice inside that's always watching, always judging, always finding proof that you're failing. It's exhausting, and it makes you hypersensitive to how others perceive you. Let me show you what this looks like. Maya sends a long, heartfelt message to her friend about something she's struggling with. Her friend replies hours later with, "That sounds hard. Hope you're okay." Maya reads it and feels crushed. They didn't care enough to say more. I'm a burden. I shouldn't have said anything. James is in a meeting and offers an idea. No one responds immediately. He interprets the silence as rejection and spends the rest of the day replaying the moment, convinced he sounded stupid. Lena notices her partner seems distant one evening. She doesn't ask what's wrong. She just assumes it's her fault. She becomes anxious, withdrawn, cold. Later, her partner says, "I was just tired from work." But by then, Lena's already built an entire story in her head. Do you see the pattern? When you don't feel safe in yourself, you look for safety in how others treat you. And when that's your foundation, everything shakes you. Emotional boundaries and overgiving. Now let's talk about boundaries, or rather, the absence of them. If you're the person who always says yes, who shows up for everyone, who absorbs other people's emotions, who sacrifices your own needs to keep the peace, you're not just being kind, you're leaking energy. Picture this. You're a power source, and everyone around you is plugged in. They're charging from you, your time, your attention, your care. But you're never plugged in anywhere. You just drain, and drain, and drain. Eventually, you have nothing left. And that's when everything bothers you. Because you're not annoyed at the person asking for one more favor. You're resentful of every favor before that. You're exhausted from years of giving without receiving. You're burned out from never protecting your own peace. This is emotional depletion, and it shows up as irritation, snapping, withdrawing. You start resenting people you love, not because they've done something wrong, but because you never told them where your limits were. Let me be clear. Boundaries aren't walls. They're not about shutting people out. They're about protecting your capacity. They're about saying, "I can't carry this right now," without guilt. They're about recognizing that your emotional energy is finite, and you get to choose how it's spent. When you don't have boundaries, you live in a constant state of overwhelm. And overwhelm makes everything feel like an intrusion, becoming emotionally unshakable. So how do you stop being so reactive? How do you build inner stability that nothing can disturb? It starts with your nervous system. You have to learn how to regulate yourself, how to calm your body when it's in overdrive. This isn't about thinking your way out of anxiety. It's about teaching your body that it's safe. Try this. When you feel triggered, place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. Breathe slowly. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Feel your heartbeat. Remind yourself, I am here. I am safe. This moment is not that moment. This is called grounding. It interrupts the panic response and brings you back to the present. Next, practice cognitive reframing. When someone's tone feels harsh, pause. Ask yourself, is this about me? Or are they having a hard day? When someone cancels plans, instead of spiraling into they don't care, try, maybe something came up. It's not a reflection of my worth. This isn't about making excuses for people. It's about not letting their behavior define your value. Here's another one. Stop absorbing other people's emotions. You are not responsible for how everyone feels. If someone's upset, you can be compassionate without making it your emergency. Picture yourself surrounded by a gentle boundary, a membrane that lets love in but keeps chaos out. Build what I call inner stillness. Imagine a deep lake inside you. On the surface, there are waves, emotions, reactions, stress. But deep below, there's a place that's always calm. That's where your true self lives. That's the part of you that can observe without being consumed. Practice responding, not reacting. Reacting is automatic. Responding is intentional. When something bothers you, pause. Count to 5. Ask yourself, does this need my energy right now? Or can I let it pass? And finally, detach from external validation. Your worth isn't determined by how quickly someone texts back, how much someone praises you, or how people react to your presence. You are whole, with or without their approval. This is the work. And it's not easy, but it's how you stop being at the mercy of everything around you. Rebuilding inner stability. Here's what happens when you do this work. You expand your emotional capacity. You stop being so easily overwhelmed because you've cleared out the old pain. You've processed the residue. You've given yourself what you needed all along: safety, validation, care. You start to notice. Someone's rude tone doesn't ruin your day. A canceled plan doesn't send you into a spiral. A moment of silence doesn't feel threatening. Not because you've become cold, but because you've become solid. You've learned to self-soothe, to meet your own needs first, to stop waiting for the world to make you feel secure. This is emotional sovereignty. It's knowing that your peace isn't dependent on how others behave, that you can be okay even when things aren't perfect, that you're not fragile, you're just finally protected. And it requires slowing down, rest, reflection, choosing yourself without apology. Building a life where your energy is honored, not exploited. This is how you reclaim your inner world. So let's come back to where we started. If everything bothers you, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're carrying too much, because you've been running on empty, because no one taught you how to protect your peace. But now you know. You know that your triggers are maps to your wounds, that your irritation is a signal, not a flaw, that becoming unshakable isn't about numbing yourself. It's about building a foundation so strong that nothing can topple it. You're not too sensitive. You're overwhelmed, unprotected, and overdue for care. And you have permission, right now, to put yourself first, to set boundaries, to stop people-pleasing, to choose stillness over chaos. The world will keep testing you. People will still be difficult. Life will still be unpredictable. But you get to be the calm in the center of it all. You deserve a life where your peace cannot be stolen by anything or anyone.